Now, the story has been recorded in a separate video so that you can go back to the story as you go through the questions. The first question, the selection reading about Poe can be best described as biography, personal narrative, or fiction. Based on the selection above, the reading above, John and Frances Allen were Poe's foster parents, Poe's uncle and aunt, Poe's birth parents. The relationship between Poe and John Allen improved as Poe got older or deteriorated as Poe got older. What was unusual about the marriage between Edgar Allan Poe and Virginia Clem? Poe was well educated and Virginia was not. They had an arranged marriage. Virginia was much younger than Poe and she was his cousin. What is an example of what Edgar Allan Poe is known for related to his work? A novelist, a poet, or a dancer? Poe is credited as the man who created science fiction stories, a translator of English to French, one of the first American writers to become a major figure in world history. Poe lived a happy and prosperous life, a depressing and difficult life, a successful and prosperous life. Read the following excerpts. Excerpts are short selections from stories. From Poe's short story, The Telltale Heart. Select the best option to answer each question. Read this short section below. What conclusion can you draw about the narrator? Here's the short selection. Presently, I heard a slight groan, and I knew it was the groan of mortal terror. It was not a groan of pain or of grief. Oh no! It was the loud, stifled sound that arises from the bottom of the soul when overcharged with awe. I knew the sound well. Many a night, just at midnight, when all the world slept, it had welled up from my own bosom, deepening with its dreadful echo the terrors that distracted me. I say I knew it well. I knew what the old man felt and pitied him, although I chuckled at heart. The question is, what conclusion can you draw about the narrator who's telling the story? He is a cruel person who enjoys torturing others. He finds joy and pleasure in stalking the old man. He can relate to the old man's terror because of the madness that haunts him. Select the piece of evidence that best supports your answer. So the answer you just selected, which evidence best supports it from the text? Presently, I heard a slight groan, and I knew it was the groan of mortal terror. It was not a groan of pain or grief. Oh no, it was the low stifled sound that arises from the bottom of the soul when overcharged with awe. I knew the sound well. Many a night just at midnight when all the world slept, it had welled up from my own bosom, deepening with its dreadful echo the terrors that distracted me. Read this short selection, the excerpt below. Which of the following would you infer about the narrator's character? True, nervous, very dreadfully nervous I have been and am. But why will you say I am mad? The disease has sharpened my senses, not destroyed it, not dulled them. Which of the following would you infer about the narrator's character, like who the narrator is? The narrator suffers from anxiety. The narrator suffers from having too many friends. The narrator has a life-threatening disease. Read the excerpt below. What can you infer about the narrator? It took me an hour to place my whole head within the opening so far that I could see him as he lay upon his bed. He is very intelligent, he is very curious, or he is very cautious. Which of the following lines creates the most suspense? I undid the lantern cautiously. For a whole hour, I did not move a muscle. I knew what the old man felt and pitied him, although I chuckled at heart. Read the excerpt below. What type of characterization is represented? Object, there was none. Passion, there was none. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me. He had never given me insult. For his gold, I had no desire. I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this. The question is, what type of characterization was this an example of? Direct characterization or indirect characterization? Read the excerpt below. What type of characterization is represented? Why would they not be gone? I paced the floor to and fro with heavy strides, as if excited to fury by the observations of the men, but the noise steadily increased. Oh God, what could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore. I swung the chair upon which I had been sitting and grated it upon the boards, but the noise rose over all and continually increased It grew louder, louder, louder. What type of characterization is this? Direct characterization or indirect characterization? The mood of a piece of writing is the general atmosphere created by the author's words, the author's attitude toward the writing and the audience, the reader's opinion of the writing. The tone of a piece of writing is the general atmosphere created by the author's words, the author's attitude toward the writing and the audience, the reader's opinion of the writing. Read the excerpt below. What is the narrator's tone? And every morning when the day broke, I went boldly into the chamber and spoke courageously to him, calling him by his name in a hearty tone and inquiring how he had passed the night. So you see, he would have been a very profound old man indeed to suspect that every night just at 12 I looked in upon him while he slept. What is the narrator's tone? Is he confident, happy, or terrifying? Select the words that best support your answer. So the answer you picked here, what words from this reading support it? Broke, inquiring, past, profound, morning, chamber, spoke, suspect, boldly, courageously, hearty, and inquiring. Read the excerpt below. What is the mood of the passage? I knew that he had been lying awake ever since the first slight noise. When he had turned in bed, his fears had been ever since growing upon him. He had been trying to fancy them causeless, but could not. He had been saying to himself, it is nothing but the wind in the chimney. It is only a mouse crossing the floor, or it is merely a cricket which has made a single chirp. Yet he has been trying to comfort himself with these suppositions, but he had found all in vain, because death, in approaching him, had stalked with his black shadow before him, and it enveloped the victim. And it was the mournful influence of the unperceived shadow that caused him to feel, although he neither saw nor heard, to feel the presence of my head within the room. What is the mood of this passage? Terrifying and scary, tense and suspenseful, or evil and malevolent? Read the excerpt below. What can you infer about the meaning of the word vex? So what does the word vex mean? And this I did for 7 long nights, every night just as at midnight. But I found the eye always closed, and so it was impossible to do the work. For it was not the old man who vexed me, but his evil eye. What do you think vex means? Surprise, hated, trouble. Read the excerpt below. What can you infer of the meaning of the word deputed? A shriek had been heard by a neighbor during the night. Suspicion of foul play had been aroused. Information had been lodged at the police station, at the police office, and they, the officers, had been deputed to search the premises. What is the meaning of deputed? Hired, appointed, or welcomed? Read the excerpt below. What can you infer the meaning of the word audacity is? I showed them his treasures, secure, undisturbed. In the enthusiasm of my confidence, I brought chairs into the room and desired them here to rest from their fatigues, while I myself, in the wild audacity of my perfect triumph, placed my own seat upon the very spot beneath which reposed the corpse of the victim. What is the word meaning of audacity? Boldness, inconsequential, enthusiasm. What should a reader know about when trying to comprehend the following line from the poem The Raven? Take thyself back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. The Bible, Greek mythology, poetry. The literary technique used in The Raven, which requires a reader to understand references to other literary works, is called illusion, alliteration, allusion. The first paragraph in an argumentative paper is called introduction, conclusion, body. The purpose of an introduction is to introduce the topic to the reader, get the reader's attention, give background information regarding the topic, all of the above. The last sentence in the introduction should state the topic, get the reader's attention, begin with your first supporting reason. The thesis statement of a paper should get the reader's attention, state the topic of the paper, give background information on the topic. The conclusion of a paper should begin with a question, a quotation, a restatement of the thesis statement. Argumentative writing is that which informs the reader, tells a story, attempts to persuade one side of the issue to the reader. Before you click submit, double check your answers. All right, that was a lot of reading, just saying.